Hello, hockey fans. Austin here with the Four Nations preview. Yes, for those of you who've been tuning into the channel, you'll know that I have promised a Four Nations preview video. A lot of you have been asking, am I excited for the Four Nations? Is this something that I'm very much looking forward to? And the answer to that is no. Not because I'm not interested in the idea of the Four Nations, but because we haven't seen how the players are actually going to approach this once they're on the ice and games start. I am worried that this is just a glorified all-star format, an expanded all-star format. They're trying to present this as a global best-on-best type tournament. They tried to do the same thing-ish in 2016, but you had your gimmick teams. You had Team Europe. You had Team North America, which on paper isn't a horrible idea, but the way it was executed, it just felt really half-assed. And when it comes to the NHL, they tend to just half-ass a lot of things. A true global best-on-best with NHL players, in my opinion, is still the Olympics, and hopefully we'll get to see that next year in 2026. But for now, we get the Four Nations face-off. We're going to see how this whole thing plays out. We're going to see if any injuries are going to play a part in the competitiveness of this tournament. There is uncertainty with a few players. You have Quinn Hughes with Team USA. As of the recording of this video, still not 100% certain if he's going to participate. You have Sidney Crosby for Team Canada. It sounds like the Pittsburgh Penguins have left the decision up to him if he is going to participate or not. Again, there are big question marks here, but I'm still going to do my best to do a bit of a preview. We're going to go over each team's roster, and then towards the end of the video, I will give my prediction on who I think is going to win this whole thing. And, is it going to be a great event? Maybe. And are a lot of fans going to enjoy it? Probably. Until I see how they are playing once they're on the ice against each other, I'm not going to judge it too harshly yet. But I am not excited for it, and I'm not going to pretend that I am, because everyone of you watching at home or listening at home, you'll see right through that. I'm not going to just, manufacture fake excitement just for content. That's not who I am. I am still going to analyze things as best as I can, talk about things as best as I can. I'm going to have nightly recaps for everyone instead of post-game fan reactions like I do for Oilers games. I will do nightly Four Nations recap videos. And then, of course, I'm hoping to do a couple live streams as well. So make sure to hit the like button if you like today's video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed. I do try and do other content that's not just Oilers related. But if you're an Oilers hater and you just want to watch me lose my mind sometimes when the Oilers lose, hey, you know what? You can subscribe. And if you are an Oilers fan, well, welcome in, of course. You're always welcome here. Let's discuss the lineups. We're going to start with Team Canada first when it comes to the lineups for the Four Nations. Again, this is not 100% set in stone as of the recording of this video. Have not been given confirmation if Crosby is going to participate. But for Team Canada, on line one, you have Crosby with McDavid and McKinnon, which is probably the best line in the whole tournament, assuming every single one of those players is healthy. Second line, you'll have Marchand with Reinhart and Marner. Marner, of course, having a great year for the Leafs. Sam Reinhart having another Selke-worthy season for the Florida Panthers. Brad Marchand having a terrific year for Boston. Although, a bit of a down year for the Bruins as a whole, but Marchand's still producing. He's in his late 30s. Father Time is not kind to his player types, but he's still doing a really good job for the Bruins. On the third line, Hagel with Point and Stone. And if Braden Point is your third line center, then that shows you have a pretty decent amount of depth when it comes to your forward group. Fourth line, you have Bennett, Cirelli, and Konechny. Personally, as a Team Canada fan, I don't like that Sam Bennett is on this team. I despise that player personally. No offense, Panthers fans. Sorry, I just really don't like that player at all. Jarvis as an extra forward. On defense, you have Makar with Taves, which could be the best defensive pair in the entire tournament. But then you get down to the second pair. You have Theodore and Parayko. Parayko, is he a top 4 D-man in a global best-on-best? I don't know. I think there are better defensemen out there that you could have grabbed. You have Morrissey with Sanheim. I think Sanheim is not a very good defenseman for Team Canada. And then Drew Doughty was also recently named to Team Canada as the replacement for Alex Pietrangelo. I don't know, man. Hockey Canada is an old boys club, and if you had success 10, 12, 13 years ago, well, guess what? You're going to get to play on Team Canada because they like their grizzled vets. They like those old boys club mentality players, and Drew Doughty fits the bill, even if he doesn't deserve to be on this team, in my opinion. In goal is where things are very shaky for Team Canada. The goaltending for Team Canada is terrible. I think it's the worst in the whole tournament. They have Aiden Hill, Jordan Binnington, and Sam Montembeault. And if you're being led by either of those in a global best on best, if Aiden Hill is your starter at the Olympics, I don't know, man. Team Canada has some major problems when it comes to developing goaltenders, and it's unfortunate. I don't think Team Canada is going to win this tournament, but let's take a look at the rest of the teams. Next up, Team USA. First line, you'll have JT Miller with Jack Eichel, Matthew Tkachuk, possibly. Now, that's a terrific first line. Jack Eichel having a phenomenal year with Vegas. JT Miller just traded to the Rangers from Vancouver. Obviously, he's trying to get his game back and get himself back on track. Matthew Tkachuk, he's an absolute menace to try and deal with when you're a defender. On the second pair, you have Kyle Connor, Austin Matthews, Jack Hughes. Now, that could also be your top line as well, assuming Austin Matthews is healthy. The amount of goal scoring that Team USA could have in this tournament is crazy. Team USA has a really good forward group, an amazing defensive group, and an amazing goaltending group. Third line, they have Gensel with Larkin and Brady Tkachuk, of course, Matthews' brother. Maybe they put them both on the same line just to create the most chaotic line imaginable. Fourth line, you have Nelson with Trocheck and Boldy. Pretty big weak link there, in my opinion, those last three forwards compared to the rest of that forward group. And then you have Chris Kreider as an extra. On defense, you have Quinn Hughes with Charlie McAvoy. Now, I think McAvoy is underrated in certain aspects. I think he's overrated in others. I think McAvoy gets overrated for his offense. He is kind of the power play quarterback in Boston, but Boston's power play is not very good. I don't think McAvoy is your power play quarterback, though. I think McAvoy is there to, be stymie in the neutral end of the defensive zone. Quinn Hughes is the guy that they are going to defer to for the offense on the power play. And Quinn Hughes, though, he did not play the last few games for Vancouver heading into this break. We don't know if he's going to play for Team USA. If he doesn't, I don't know who the replacement is going to be. But like I said, as of the recording of this video, he's currently penciled in for me. On the second pair, you have Slavin and Fox. Third pair, Werenski and Faber. Now, Zach Werenski, I think, could be in the Hart conversation and the Norris conversation by the end of the season, especially if Columbus continues on their track here. If they get into the wild card spot, Zach Werenski has been unbelievable for that Blue Jackets team. Noah Hannafin as the extra D-man. And then in goal, they have Connor Hellebuck, probably the best goalie in the NHL. They have Jake Ottinger, probably top 5. Jeremy Swayman, top 10. Like, they have some incredible players on this team. And it's hard to bet against Team USA when it comes to this tournament. Assuming that they're all going 110% and trying to win the thing, Team USA probably the favorite. But let's take a look at Team Sweden now. Top line, they have Bratt, Zibanejad, and Nylander. Now, Nylander's having a good year in Toronto. Zibanejad, not a great year. Bratt, decent year. Second line, you have Forsberg with Pettersson and Raymond. Elias Pettersson in Vancouver. He's been struggling since last season. I don't know. Team Sweden's forward group on paper should be better, but a lot of the players on it just aren't playing the way that they should be or that they're accustomed to in years past. Third line, you have Kempe, Erikssonek, and Lindholm. Fourth line, Victor Arvidsson, an Oiler. You'd love to see that. Carlson and Raquel. And then they have Gustav Nyquist as an extra forward. Although Nyquist, he could end up being a regular. So Team Sweden, their weakest part of their entire roster is their center depth. I think Zibanejad, Pettersson, Erikssonek, and Carlson are not the best four centers out there. They may be the best four centers for Team Sweden, but that center depth is pretty rough considering how a lot of those players' seasons have gone. I'm not going to write off Team Sweden totally, but that forward group, maybe not as much as, there is to be desired from it in terms of their ability to produce offense and their overall game. Defense, though, they fare a bit better. They have Hedman with Dahlin, which I think is a great pairing. They have Forsling with Carlson, of course, another great pairing. And then Ekholm with Anderson. Again, real good pairing for Team Sweden. And then Brodin as the extra. And then in goal, they're very strong as well. They have Gustafsson, Ullmark, and Urson. Urson likely doesn't see the crease at all because he's had actually a pretty tough season in Philly. But Linus Ullmark, Philip Gustafsson, you could probably play either of those as your starter. I imagine Gustafsson will be the starter for Team Sweden just based on his play with Minnesota this year. But Linus Ullmark, of course, with Ottawa, when he's healthy, he plays great. Team Sweden, they have good defense, good goaltending, very weak forward group in my opinion. But we have one more team to check out, and that's Team Finland. They have Lehkonen, Barkov, and Rantanen on their top line, which I think is just a terrific top line. Laine, Aho, and Teravainen, again, 3 more really good, solid players. Laine, though, he's been struggling recently in Montreal. I'm pretty sure in the last 7 or 8 games, he's like a -7 rating. He doesn't have a goal. If Laine's not scoring on the power play, he's one of those players that's pretty tough to watch on the defensive side. So we'll see how Team Finland utilizes a player like that in this tournament. Third line, Hintz with Granlund and Kakko. Kakko has found new life with the Seattle Kraken, which is really good to see after the Rangers decided to just kind of dump him off into no man's land and be like, here you go. Here's Seattle. You can have this nice, young, developing player that we just didn't develop properly because we're the New York Rangers. On the fourth line, you have Luostarinen, Lundell, and Armia with Haula as your extra. On defense, they have Mikkola and Lundell, Mata, Ristolainen, Välimäki, Jokiharju, and Vakanainen as the extra. I think Team Finland's biggest weakness is definitely their defensive core. Now, Mikkola, nothing to sniff at. Great stay-at-home overall defenseman. Mata, he's good. Lindell's good, but Ristolainen, Välimäki, Jokiharju, and Vakanainen. When you look at the other defensive core of the rest of this tournament, I think Team Finland's weakest link is on their defense. In goal, they have Lankinen, who's had a terrific season for Vancouver. They have UC Saros, who's had an up and down season for Nashville. I would argue that Nashville's issues are definitely not goaltending related. And then they have Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen as well. Now, when it comes to the overall prediction, who the heck is going to win this thing, assuming that every single team is giving it 100% and every single team is healthy? This is what I'm basing this off of. In my opinion, the best forward group in the whole tournament is Team USA. Even though even though Team Canada has McDavid, they have McKinnon, they potentially have Crosby, like Team Canada has good forwards, but I think the overall forward depth, I have to give it to Team USA. Best defenseman in the whole tournament, again, I have to give to Team USA. I think they're just a step above the rest of the competition, and their best goalies, Team USA as well. This is Team America's tournament to lose, in my personal opinion. Now, you can all get mad at me, especially the Canadian viewers, the Swedish viewers, and the Finnish viewers. Y'all want your team to prove me wrong, prove Team USA wrong. Well, I hope they can do that because overall, I do predict Team USA to win the tournament. I predict Team Finland to finish second. I predict Team Sweden to finish third. And I predict Team Canada to finish fourth. Now, is that a harsh rating? Yeah. Likely Team Canada probably finishes at least third. However, Team Canada's defensive core and their goaltending. Team Canada's goaltending is absolutely brutal. If this was international ice, I might be more lenient on Team Canada because you can play a system that keeps players more perimeter, more to the outside, and utilize kind of your speed and size. But in a tournament that is on NHL size ice, I don't like Team Canada's chances at all, especially going up against teams like Team USA, Team Finland's offensive firepower. Team Sweden and Team Canada, I think they are the ones that finish either third or fourth. You could probably interchange them. I'm not super confident in Team Canada at all. All the pressure to me is on Team USA. I think this is Team USA's tournament to lose. I think this is one of the reasons why Gary Bettman wants to do an NHL only 4 nations face-off, because he wants to just push that Team America narrative. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but that's just how I think of this sometimes. We'll see how it all plays out, of course. There are other ways to analyze that I didn't get into, including analytics, the advanced analytics community. I'm very curious to know what their models are showing. But for me, Team USA should be far and away the winner here. But again, it comes down to who is giving it 100%. Generally in best on best tournaments around the world, the European teams definitely are the ones that take these, I wouldn't say more seriously, but there's a lot of pride that goes into winning a best on best international tournament. You can see how intense things get during like World Junior events, especially with the European teams, and then Russia when they were involved in these sanctioned global events. But of course, with everything going on in Europe right now with Russia, they're not allowed in this stuff. I find European teams are the ones that take this stuff a bit more seriously. Unless it's the Olympics, then of course you have that, you have a lot of pride in the Canadian rooms. They like to try and win the Olympics, and of course they've won a few in my lifetime, which is great. And Team USA, of course, they like trying to be on top of everything in the world, just everywhere in general. This is going to be interesting. I think if everyone is healthy and giving it 100%, Team USA wins. If not everyone is 100%, if Team USA is missing Quinn Hughes for any extended time, if Team Canada is missing Crosby for any extended time, I likely give the edge to maybe Team Finland. that's kind of how I see this whole thing. At the end of the day, I'm curious to see how it goes. So please let me know your predictions in the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button. And if you really liked it, make sure to hit subscribe to the channel. Your support goes a long way in allowing me to continue to produce content like this. And I know there's already a lot of people that have hit the the dislike button as many times as they can, because they're probably pissed off at my opinion of this whole thing and different teams. But I'm just a hockey fan and just my views on things. So I hope you all have a wonderful two-week break, hockey fans. Make sure to tune in regularly to my channel. I will have lots of content moving forward until the NHL resumes. So thank you once again for tuning in. And as always, tell someone that you love them. Fight like a kid, fight like Ben. Let's go Canada? ? Let's go Oilers. I don't know how to end this video.